Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Peace, love, and positivity to you. My name is Sohum, and today we are taking another step deeper into the Buck 65 rabbit hole. We've got 3 more songs to check out, dissect, analyze, enjoy, all of that good stuff. First, we're going to start with Up Against the Rope, then check out Indestructible Sam, and end the triple reaction off with Why So Sad. Which, very, I guess, serendipitously, I was recently rewatching the Dark Knight movie. That movie happens to be one of my favorites, if not my literal favorite movie of all time. So why so serious? Classic line. I'm excited to check these out as always, but before we do dive in here, a massive thank you goes to Graham the Compassionate for making this generous donation request and the unique selections today. Thank you as always, my friend. Now, let's jump in. Let me make sure I've got the lyrics pulled up because we know Buck is about to drop 1,000,000 bars. Oh, I love this melodic movement already. Wow, that drum kit has a punch to it like no other. With the outlined banjo, kind of reminds me of Don't Drink the Water by Dave Matthews Band. Just the banjo part.
Up against the ropes, even though I'm not. All the games I've played, battles that I fought, stillness of a room, table and a chair. Show me what you got, take it as a dare. Roaming through the halls, shoes are made of gold. Speaking without words, doing what I'm told. Horizontal lines standing on display. Sound of someone's voice somewhere far away.
I could not find the lyrics.
What'll happen next? Crimes against myself, thinking that I'm hexed. Feeling in my bones, things I can't explain. Wind is at my back, running for a train. Everywhere I look, nothing's as it seems. In another life, maybe in my dreams. What'll happen next? I see it in your face, a mirror that reflects.
I mean, all up until that moment, there's like 4 or 5 pieces to focus on. You have this growing drum beat in just the middle of your headphones here. Let me pull it back some so we can just go one by one through them.
Another life, maybe in my dreams.
So the drums are kind of like panned behind and slightly to the right, so when there's that bigger hit, it really feels resonant within the back.
Another life, maybe in my dreams.
Buck's voice forward.
What'll happen next? I see it in your face, a mirror
The
that
twang
reflects.
of the banjo. Yeah. And the bass lurching underneath. Oh. Really stellar. Because he fills up so much of the space of the mix.
Lying wide awake, I listen to you breathe. Looking for a cure like this is a disease. Waiting for the sun, cursing at the clock. So much on my mind, I'm unable to talk. Holding on to hope, wishing it would rain. Breaking all the mirrors, aching for your pain. Fortune is untold, say the magic words. Every worried thought flies away like birds.
Wow. Dude, so profound. It's so beautiful, this melody, and the drums just emphasize it even more. Yeah, and there's been this like feeling of a train yard. Visually, we have the undercarriage, I think.
How's it gonna end? As far as we have come, why should we pretend? Poetry of need written on your face, music of your hands, machines of love and grace. Almost at the edge, we should be heading back. tangled in the trees, the night is red and black. How's it gonna end? Nothing I can do, no way to defend.
This is a heavenly melody. And what a tempo. You have so much space to breathe. Just have this endlessly. It's a beautiful, perfect backing track. We have UFO liftoff out of the woods, out of the west whence we came. I love this song. I swear it's not recency bias, but this may be one of my favorite Buck 65 melodies. Wow. It's so gorgeous, like the way that it just sets in so quickly, so hauntingly, and it's just perfectly emphasized by this drum kit. The fact that we get Buck 65 doing his kind of speak rap singing over the top of it with the profound lyricism that we know him for, it is just so much goodness all at once. It's really unfortunate that Buck 65 lyrics aren't often discoverable on the internet here. You know, I would have to like go and transcribe the entire song lyrically myself to be able to just take a cursory glance at things, because there were so many beautiful lines throughout that just have your you really need to be an active listener to really take in all of Buck 65. And the thing is, it isn't even easy to do, because oftentimes in a single Buck 65 song there are dozens of themes that he taps on, relating to the self, relating to society, relating to anything and everything. So it's not even like we can draw one cohesive through line through many of his tracks. That's my assumption with this one anyways, because a lot of what I caught were little moments. Maybe if we wove them all together, you could find one more like succinct theme that umbrellas them all. But I mean, the musicality alone just seals it for me. Man, yeah, great start here.
I ain't gonna tell nobody my right name. I ain't gonna tell nobody my right
Sounds
name.
like somebody's like digging in the dirt.
My name is Sam. My name is Sam. My name is Sam. And I don't give
I don't give it. That is some swag. With the southern feel.
Here's the story of Samuel Dombey, a man like any other at the end of a long day. Guts and muscles and maybe a little more. He worked as a gravedigger after the Civil War. Miles around, competition burned with the deepest rage. The work was hard and Sam did it for the cheapest wage. Seems that the other man's shoes didn't fit him. When he was out working, the others were out to get him. They called him Indestructible Sam. He promised he...
We're gonna have to do this in chunks because he is delivering a million lyrics a minute. But so far we have a post-Civil War gravedigger named Samuel Dombey. Oh man.
The other man's shoes didn't fit him when he was out working, the others were out to get him. They called him Indestructible Sam. He promised he would die with a shovel in his hands. That's right, they called him Indestructible Sam. He promised he would die with a shovel in his hands. Digging all day, Sam's pockets got richer, but the others were wishing he was out of the picture. So late one night, some of the competition went to see Dr. Beauregard, a local magician. They asked if he could help.
So it seems like Sam is a very conscientious, driven individual who is making boatloads of money from his efforts here.
One night, some of the competition went to see Dr. Beauregard, a local magician. They asked if he could help put things in reverse. They pooled all their money for a $50 curse. Next morning at work was a commotion, digging a grave.
Okay, and I'm assuming that during this time period, $50 is like an insane amount of money compared to how it is these days, where our currency is like hyperinflated away, and every year we lose more relative value for each each dollar you hold. So just by holding dollars, you're losing value. That's neither here nor there, but $50 at that time would have been a lot.
They asked if he could help put things in reverse. They pooled all their money for a $50 curse. Next morning at work was a commotion, digging a grave. Sam heard an explosion, followed by a moaning, cursing and mumbling from the nearby bushes. A figure came stumbling. Sam shrugged his shoulders and surveyed the damages. Later, Dr. Beauregard was seen wearing bandages. Worse for wear, he wasn't taking suggestions. Said he'd hex anyone that asked him any questions. The coast wasn't clear, trouble kept lurking. The others kept scheming and Sam kept working. They called him Indestructible Sam. He promised he would die with a shovel in his hands. That's right, they called him Indestructible Sam. He promised he would die with a shovel in his hands.
Banjo
the other grave
melody
diggers lamented their blown chance, decided to take matters into their own hands. Thoughts full of poison and making a trap. They blew up.
I had no idea there was such a competitive grave digger community. I mean, after the Civil War, that would be when they were most in demand, but I wonder if this is rooted in any reality.
Blown chance, decided to take matters into their own hands. Thoughts full of poison and making a trap. They blew up the shed where Sam was taking a nap. The others were astonished and totally annoyed, cause Sam walked away though the shed was destroyed. Next they tied him up and they were sure that they got him when they threw him in a lake and watched him sink to the bottom. But lo and behold, to the others' dismay, Sam was back at work again the very next day. They burned his house.
And does this have anything to do with the biblical story of Samson, where I think it was the Mennonites or something like that? They were in fear of Samson's power, and his power was like kept in his hair, so they tried to, as like warring tribes do, take over his land, but were unable to do so unless they cut his hair. So maybe it has something to do with that story.
But lo and behold, to the others' dismay, Sam was back at work again the very next day. They burned his house down to the ground, they were possessed. And when that didn't work, they finally shot him in the chest. So hold your head low and fly the flag half-mast. But it was actually Samuel that had the last laugh. He recovered again, Lord be praised. He lived to be 100 and dug the others' graves. They called him Indestructible Sam. He promised he would die with a shovel in his hands. That's right, they called him Indestructible Sam. He promised he would die with a shovel in his hands, and he did. They called him Indestructible Sam. He promised he would die with a shovel in his hands. That's right, they called him Indestructible Sam. And he died with a shovel in his hands.
What did he say? This is a true song?
They call him Indestructible Sam, and he died with a shovel in his hand.
It is a real story. Record scratches out of nowhere, the turntables, now the effects. Oof. Yeah, super energetically driven song from the drum kit first and foremost. I'm pretty sure you could say this about every single Buck 65 song, but I'm not going to overgeneralize here. These two songs have been extremely tight in terms of the rhythm in terms of the drum beat, the kit just being loud and pronounced in the mix. And also, both of these songs have really pronounced banjo melodies throughout. This song definitely was more upbeat and almost like forceful, like right in your face. And specifically with Buck's delivery here, he feels very urgent in his delivery, relaying the story of Indestructible Sam. It is interesting that it is a real story, that he was such a hard-working gravedigger that the other gravediggers would have rather offed him than, I don't know, to work harder themselves or go into a different line of work. Like, I don't know why people always have to resort to the... Actually, I do know why people resort to the easy solution by just offing your rivals, is because it's hard work to do what hardworking Indestructible Sam is doing. So if you want to be lazy and... Yeah, anyways. Beautiful song here. Another banger from Buck. Definitely in a sort of different emotional lane than what we heard initially with Up Against the Rope. The fact that it is real is crazy to me. Indestructible Sam, like, where would this story even be written down? Like, you don't... Not that everything would be in history books for real, but like, is this from something, some source? Truly not sure. Also been noting the southern vibe across these two tracks as well, so maybe there's a bit of a theme, Graham. Let's check out the last song here. Why So Sad? Another banjo. And another tight drum beat. Let's see.
Under the bed, on the floor, and through the roof, nothing gets thrown away. I wish that you knew the truth. The passing of hours, the hold of distortion, the agonies of childhood, the gold of your fortune. Asking permission of the guards of the fable. Mistakes that I've made are my cards on the table. These things happen.
Why so sad, darling?
Who's that?
Darling one, darling one, darling one. Why so sad, darling one, darling one, darling one.
Very minimalist in the production here. Just a few elements. Vocals, banjo, and drums. But the vocals in this vocalist after Buck here, they're very rich. Like warm coffee, you know. This is not coffee, this is tea.
Unable to see the days we were dealt a blow. The way that you look at me sometimes could melt the snow. Cities destroyed, mountain ranges leveled neatly. Hands where you can see 'em admitting the devil beat me. The emptiness of words, the violence of my knife, the price of a bad decision, the silence of my life.
Wow.
Oh well, soon the approach of a cold spell. Children of nowhere, we radio and hotel. Forbid the trees, everything I did to please. Watching me go, you killed the lights and hid the keys. Lost in translation, justice became crime. The sun is shining and it's raining at the same time. These things happen.
Why so sad, darling one?
It's like, I feel like I should understand what this song is about, yet somehow I don't. My best guess at the moment is, why are you so sad about the things that go right and wrong in life? Because that's the whole point of life, is that there are ups and downs. So why ruminate on it? Why let it sink into your gray matter for longer than you need to? Why so sad if these things that are terrible that happen are low-key sort of expected on a balance of probabilities?
Darling one,
Darling one.
darling one, darling one, darling.
Why is he saying darling one?
Why so sad, darling one?
Like you're my first darling?
Darling one, darling one, darling one. Darling one, darling one, darling one, darling one. Darling one.
Wow, what a rich voice.
Darling one, darling
grooving onto the banjo melody. Right. This is the kind of song that I can imagine being totally re-envisioned live. Yeah. We had a definite theme going on with this triple reaction today. The banjo, super pronounced throughout all of this. And the banjo, it is a unique instrument in that it's not as heavy as a guitar, but it offers, a lot of thin brightness. And when you play a lot of the strings simultaneously, I almost feel like it produces the sort of low hum that like the low E or A string on a 6-string guitar may sound, but only when all the strings on the banjo are being played at once, creating that resonance. Because otherwise, when you're just playing one string in isolation on the banjo, it does really feel like a banjo because of how thin that frequency is, which also makes the banjo, to me, an extremely impressive instrument to be able to master and play because of how precise you have to be in your fretting, in your picking. There's really minimal room for error, whereas, at least this is my, perspective, but as a guitarist, and specifically if you're playing acoustic guitar and, even rocking some standard riffs or chord progressions, the instrument, for whatever reason, it gives you the sort of built-in leeway, the margin of error to make mistakes or let notes ring out and have it still sound full and complete. Whereas I feel like if you made the equivalent mistake on a banjo, it would be more pronounced, the mistake. I don't know why I went down that rabbit hole of conversation, but all that to say, the banjo is an extremely impressive instrument to play, and loved the melodies that it was responsible for throughout these 3 tracks today. Though I think melodically my favorite song was the first or second one? Hold on, give me 1 second while I confirm my answer. It was either Indestructible Sam or Up Against the Rope, for which one had my heart in terms of melody. I would probably give it to Up Against the Rope. Yeah, I think, to be honest, like melodically, it's a clear Up Against the Rope in first place. Then I could probably toss it up between Indestructible Sam and Why So Sad. I think because Why So Sad is a bit too ambiguous for my understanding, I'm going to give it to Indestructible Sam. The story that was painted about him and these other rival gravediggers was extremely vivid in my mind, so I'll give that second, and then Why So Sad third place here. But all of these tracks, again, heavy banjo emphasis, heavy emphasis on the simple snare and kick drum for the drum kit, just very punchy throughout. And the vocal delivery throughout, I think Buck nailed it. I don't know who the other vocalist was on this final track here. Yeah, I'm not sure. It wasn't a voice that I remember hearing in any of his other songs. Yeah. Let me know who that is, but that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed the reaction. If you did and want to request one yourself, please hit the first link in the description box below. But as always, my friends, have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care and peace.